What if I told you that the richest woman in American history, whose fortune today would be worth tens of billions of dollars, used to search through trash for leftover soap, ate cold oatmeal to save heating costs, and even caused her own son's leg to be amputated because of her extreme stinginess? This isn't a fictional story. It's the real-life tale of Hetty Green, the Witch of Wall Street, a woman who baffled the world with her fortune and her frugality. So how did she build such immense wealth, and why did she live like the poorest of the poor? Stay with us to hear the full story. In the chronicles of financial history, dominated almost entirely by men, one woman's name shines like a strange, dark star in the sky of Wall Street. She wasn't just a successful investor, she was a financial genius in an age when women had virtually no voice in the world of money. Her name was Henrietta Howland Robinson, better known as Hetty Green, and to her critics, the Witch of Wall Street. But her fame wasn't just due to her legendary wealth, estimated at $100 to $200 million when she died in 1916, equivalent to $2.5 to $5 billion today, though the economic impact of her fortune at the time would place her in the tens of billions today. What truly made her infamous was her mind-bending frugality, a stinginess that turned her life and the lives of those around her into a bizarre kind of tragedy. Born in 1834 in New Bedford, Massachusetts, Hetty was raised in a strict Quaker family, known for simplicity and austerity, but her family was anything but simple. They were among the wealthiest in the city, owning a vast whaling fleet and numerous business ventures. From a young age, Hetty was anything but an ordinary girl. Her grandfather, Gideon Howland, was her first mentor. Due to his poor eyesight, young Hetty would read financial documents and market news to him aloud by the time she was 6. At 8, she opened her first bank account. At 13, she was managing the family's accounting. She soaked up the world of numbers, investments, and trading like a child learning their native language. While other girls played with dolls, Hetty played with bonds and balance sheets. From her father and grandfather, she inherited not just millions, but a harsh life philosophy: never owe anyone anything. When her father died in 1864, Hetty inherited a fortune worth $7.5 million, over $130 million in today's money. But Hetty wasn't about to waste it on dresses and parties. She moved to New York and plunged headfirst into Wall Street. At a time when women weren't even allowed in investor clubs, Hetty stormed into the financial world with fierce determination. Her strategy was bold and brilliant. I buy when others panic, I sell when others get greedy. She practiced value investing decades before Warren Buffett was even born. She bought Civil War bonds when they were at rock bottom, held them until their value soared, and invested in real estate, railroads, and mortgages. She feared reckless speculation, but embraced calculated risks. She read every contract line by line, negotiated every cent, and treated each deal like life and death. But while her fortune grew, her personal life shrank into misery. At 37, Hetty married Edward Henry Green, a millionaire from Vermont. But before the wedding, she forced him to sign a prenuptial agreement, waiving any rights to her fortune, virtually unheard of at the time. They had 2 children, Ned and Sylvia, and for a while, life seemed stable. But Hetty's stinginess was a constant presence in the marriage. Her legendary frugality wasn't rumor. It was real and well documented. She never used hot water. She wore the same black dress every day until it fell apart. She didn't turn on heat or turn on lights to save on electricity. Her official office was in Chase National Bank in New York City. She had a desk there so she could use their heating and electricity for free. The companies she invested in were mostly low-cost buildings, as this was easier for her to go and check on the investments and keep on file. When her son Ned broke his leg at the age of 11 and the doctor explained that there was a costly operation to perform to save the leg, Hetty refused and left. She continued to search for a cheaper doctor for her son. But gangrene had already set in. Young Ned spent the rest of his life with a wooden leg, a constant reminder of his mother's crippling stinginess.
Even her marriage couldn't survive her penny pinching. When her husband Edward made a few bad investments and lost his own money along with some borrowed funds, Hetty kicked him out. She lived in constant fear of being robbed or kidnapped, always carrying a pistol in her handbag. To her, money was safety. Her obsession with saving money wasn't just about frugality, it was a psychological condition. Whether it came from her strict upbringing or from navigating a ruthless world as a woman alone, it's clear she lived in a prison of her own making. In 1916, Hetty Green died at the age of 81. The cause? A stroke, brought on during a heated argument with her maid over the cost of skim milk. Yes, skim milk. She left behind an enormous fortune, inherited by her children, Ned and Sylvia. And the irony? The two people who suffered the most from her stinginess became some of the biggest spenders in U.S. history. Ned lived lavishly, buying yachts, rare stamps, and luxurious cars. Sylvia, on the other hand, became a philanthropist, donating millions of dollars to educational and charitable causes. It was as if they were trying to overcompensate for their mother's misery. Hetty Green is a paradoxical character who still fascinates us today. A financial genius who built an empire out of almost nothing, yet she lived like the poorest of the poor. Her story reminds us, true wealth isn't just about how much money you have, but how you use it. Money can be a blessing or a curse. In conclusion, Hetty Green's life is a stark reminder that the pursuit of wealth shouldn't come at the cost of our humanity or the compassion we owe to each other. And so ended the life of the richest woman in American history, arguing over the price of milk. Hetty Green's life teaches us a painful lesson. What good is owning the world if you lose yourself and your loved ones along the way? She was a woman who had everything. And yet, in the end, she had nothing. Do you think Hetty was a victim of her upbringing or simply a prisoner of her own greed? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more untold stories from history.